Welcome to another episode of Management Unplugged by GR. Today, we're taking a deep dive into an organization that has achieved something truly extraordinary. A hospital system in India that performs an unbelievable number of high-quality eye surgeries, many of them completely free, all while being financially self-sufficient.
It's a story that really challenges deeply held assumptions about what's possible in healthcare.
It absolutely does. When you hear financially self-sufficient healthcare for the poor, your first thought might be, well, skepticism. Or maybe you imagine there has to be some kind of compromise on quality.
Right. Something's got to give.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But Aravind Eye Care System just defines all those expectations. We're going to peel back the layers today and uncover the sheer genius behind their operations. It starts with this, well, almost spiritual mission from their founder, moves through incredibly innovative manufacturing, mind-boggling surgical efficiency, and then this really unique way of staffing and connecting with communities. Absolutely. Think of this as maybe a masterclass in compassionate scale. We're going to explore how they built a system that delivers world-class eye care, not just to a few people, but to millions, regardless of their ability to pay.
And all while staying completely financially independent. It's remarkable.
It really is. It's like a blueprint for any organization, really, that's looking to achieve massive impact, but with this unwavering purpose.
Definitely.
So let's start at the very beginning then, with the visionary who sparked this entire movement, Dr. G. Venkaswamy, or as everyone knew him, Dr. V.
Right, Dr. V.
This was a man whose life mission was singularly focused on one really profound goal: to eradicate needless blindness. Now, that phrase, needless blindness, it's really powerful, isn't it? What did that actually mean for him?
Yeah, for Dr. V, it was everything. He saw that a staggering number of people, estimates were like 45 million worldwide, 10 million just in India, were living with blindness that was preventable or curable.
There's not complex, untreatable conditions necessarily.
Exactly. We're talking cataracts, refractive errors, infections, things that, with timely intervention could be resolved. It just deeply pained him that so many people had lost, as he put it, the precious gift of sight, not because of some incurable disease, but simply because they couldn't access care or afford it.
That lack of access.
Yeah, that profound empathy. That's really what fueled his entire life's work.
That's remarkable. And what's even more striking, maybe, is that he started this monumental mission after retiring, right? He'd already had a full career.
Indeed. He retired from Government Medical College in Madurai, where he was head of ophthalmology back in 1976. He was 58.
An age when most people are thinking about slowing down.
Right. Maybe enjoy a quieter life after decades of work. But for Dr. V, no, his work was far from over. He saw retirement as, well, a new beginning, really, a chance to fully dedicate himself to this one passion. He was absolutely determined to keep providing quality eye care to everyone, regardless of their wealth or social standing. He had this deep urge to give back to society, very influenced by figures like Mahatma Gandhi and Sri Aurobindo Ghosh.
Ah, okay.
In fact, he actually named the hospital Aravind as a direct tribute to Sri Aurobindo. So that spiritual, philosophical grounding, it really set the foundation for everything that came next.
And this wasn't just like a nice idea. It was baked into their operational model from day one.
Totally.
So in 1976, Dr. V forms the nonprofit Govil Trust, and he literally invested all his life savings into it.
Everything he had.
And the very first hospital, Aravind Eye Hospital, AEH, started as this incredibly modest 11-bed setup. Right there in his brother's house in Madurai. Can you imagine that? Starting this world-changing healthcare system in, well, a house.
It just speaks volumes, doesn't it? About his conviction, his willingness to start small, but with this huge, unshakable vision. And crucially, even from that tiny start, their dual mission was crystal clear.
The paying and the free patients.
Exactly. 5 beds were for paying patients, and 6 were reserved for free patients. Right from the beginning. This wasn't some afterthought, added later. It was built into the DNA of the organization from the absolute inception.
Signaling that purpose to serve everyone.
Yes, and that the financial model would have to enable that mission, not get in the way of it.
That's such a radical design choice, especially back then in that context. It established that cross-subsidization model right out of the gate. And from that humble, almost residential start, it just exploded. By 2003, this single 11-bed hospital had become the Aravind Eye Care System, AECS.
Right, a whole system.
Not just a hospital anymore. It was this vast, interconnected chain hospitals, manufacturing centers, training institutes, research facilities, even an international eye bank.
Yeah.
The scale of growth is just staggering.
It truly is. To give you a sense of that scale, AEH Madurai alone, the original one, became a 1,500-bed hospital doing nearly 95,000 surgeries a year.
1,500 beds.
Yeah. And across all 5 of their hospitals by 2003, remember, starting from just 11 beds, AECS was performing 190,000 surgeries a year.
Okay, put that number in perspective for us. 190,000.
Right. Well, that's about 45% of all eye surgeries performed in Tamil Nadu, the state they're in. And, get this, an astounding 5% of all eye surgeries in the entire country of India.
5%. From one system started by one man.
Exactly. One system responsible for 5% of a whole nation's eye surgeries. It's almost unimaginable, the impact.
And yet, despite achieving all that, Dr. V, at 85 years old, still felt this urgency for more.
He did. Relentless.
He was quoted saying they needed to do even more. He noted that only about 7% of people with eye problems in the villages were even showing up at their camps.
Still so many people unreached.
And he famously said, and I think this just captures his spirit, most of this blindness is needless and curable. We have to eradicate all needless blindness. It wasn't just a goal for him. It was this deep personal commitment. It went beyond statistics.
That relentless pursuit, yeah, it really underpins their whole structure. And speaking of structure, this brings us to their truly unique business model, because this is where it gets really interesting.
Okay.
How did they manage such scale, serve so many free patients, and yet stay financially self-sufficient? It sounds almost like a contradiction, doesn't it? Especially in healthcare.
It does. It sounds like a recipe for, I don't know, endless fundraising or maybe unsustainable debt.
Right. But their core principle is actually brilliant in its simplicity and its integrity: cross-subsidization. Paying patients subsidize the free patients.
Okay, but here's the crucial nuance, right? They achieve this without charging exorbitant rates to anyone.
Exactly. That's the key. Dr. V insisted on following the policy of taking both paying and free patients. The paying patients were charged moderately, same as other comparable hospitals in the city.
So no five-star luxury patients funding the poor.
No, there were no 5-star customers to cross-subsidize poor patients. It's not about, luxury suites paying for charity. It's about making quality care accessible to everyone and having the paying patients contribute fairly to sustain the whole mission.
That's a huge distinction. It really speaks to their integrity, doesn't it?
It does. It's not about maximizing profit from a few wealthy people, but ensuring a steady, moderate income from many to support the mission for absolutely everyone. And they've been financially self-supporting from day one. Just mind-blowing.
And consciously avoiding outside dependency.
Totally. From the very beginning, they never took government grants or donations for their service delivery, except for some partial government support for the eye camp patients, which is fair.
Right.
But they didn't even apply for bank loans for growth. They prioritized financial freedom above all else.
And what does that financial independence let them do that maybe other organizations struggle with?
Well, it gives them unparalleled autonomy, doesn't it? They can stay completely true to their mission without any external influence or pressure from funders or, creditors.
No mission drift.
Exactly. This independent spirit meant every expansion, every new facility was funded internally. There's no chasing grants, no compromising on patient care just to satisfy a donor's whim. It's just pure mission-driven reinvestment.
And this leads us to Dr. V's incredible insight about volume.
Yes. He was absolutely certain that high productivity and large volumes were necessary, not just for the hospital to be viable, but also to generate the surplus funds needed for ongoing expansion.
So volume wasn't just a side effect, it was a core strategy.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
For Aravind, profit isn't just financial surplus, it's the capacity to expand their mission. It's the ability to serve more, to cure more blindness. It sort of transforms profit from an end goal into, fuel for their purpose.
Fuel for purpose, I like that.
And the proof is right there, isn't it? AEH Madurai, that original 11-bed hospital, it generated a surplus from its very beginning, which allowed them to expand rapidly, building exclusive hospitals just for free patients, new facilities in other towns. For example, by 1978, just 2 years after starting, they already had an exclusive 70-bed hospital just for free patients.
That kind of rapid, self-funded growth is almost unheard of in healthcare, especially nonprofits.
It completely turns the traditional model on its head, where nonprofits are kind of perpetually seeking grants or relying on external funding for every little expansion. They show that sustainable social impact isn't just about philanthropy, it's about building a robust, efficient economic engine designed to serve the mission.
It truly is. And we're not just talking about breaking even here. Their financial health is actually astounding. You mentioned figures from 2002, 2003.
Yeah, I mean, their income was over 423 million rupees, with a surplus of 219 million rupees.
That's serious financial viability.
While still serving this massive number of poor patients, it really highlights their, tight financial control, on-time accounting, coupled with appropriate pricing and transparency. It's not just compassion, it's extremely smart, disciplined business.
And that financial discipline is obviously critical to scaling compassionately. But you mentioned something earlier, the real engine driving that financial viability beyond just smart pricing. This is where the how gets really astounding, their unparalleled surgical efficiency.
Yeah, yes.
How on earth did they achieve that while maintaining quality?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? And it's where their genius truly shines. When we talk surgical efficiency, Aravind takes it to a level that honestly seems almost impossible.
Okay, hit me with the numbers again.
Get this, they do about 2,600 surgeries per doctor per year in their Aravind eye hospitals.
2,600.
Per doctor per year. The all-India average is about 400.
Wow. That's more than 6 times the national average.
6 times. Now, with that kind of scale and speed, my first thought, and I imagine yours too, is, okay, what about quality? How do they make sure this incredible volume doesn't wreck patient outcomes?
Exactly. That's precisely what I'm wondering. You mentioned 12 minutes for a full cataract procedure earlier. That's almost unfathomable in many places.
Yeah.
Can you help us really visualize that? It's delicate, precise surgery. What is happening in those 12 minutes, and how do they keep it absolutely precise and safe at that pace?
It's like a marvel to watch, apparently. Think of it like a highly choreographed ballet, but, with scalpels and microscopes.
Okay.
Imagine 1 operating theater, 4 operating tables side by side, 2 doctors operating, each managing 2 adjacent tables at the same time.
2 tables per doctor.
Yeah. And patients are prepped, local anesthetic, eyes washed, disinfected in an adjacent ward. So they're not waiting for one patient to finish, get cleaned up, then wheel the next one in.
They're optimizing every single second.
Every second. As soon as one patient's surgery is done and they're bandaged, boom, they're moved out. And the next patient is already ready on the same table or waiting right there on a bench to be moved into position.
Constant flow.
Constant flow. The doctors literally move constantly between the 2 tables with hardly any break. From the moment the patient's under the scope, every movement, every instrument handoff, every decision is optimized. The surgeon's focus is just on the eye.
While others handle the surrounding tasks.
Exactly. Ancillary tasks like adjusting lights, handing instruments, even the post-op bandaging that's handled by highly trained ophthalmic assistants who anticipate every single need. There's 0 wasted motion, no hesitation. The whole cataract procedure, around 12 minutes.
That's incredible. And this is so critical. With that kind of speed, you'd think quality has to suffer somewhere.
Yeah.
What about complication rates?
That's the truly amazing part. Despite this unbelievable speed and volume, their complication rates are incredibly low.
Lower than average.
Meticulously monitored, and actually lower than those reported by prestigious institutions like the Royal College of Ophthalmologists in the UK.
Lower than the UK.
Yeah.
Wow.
Every single complication, no matter how minor, is traced back. Reasons are identified. If there are deficiencies, corrective action, including retraining, happens immediately. It's not about rushing. It's about flawless execution of a perfected sequence. It's this continuous cycle of refinement that ensures speed without compromise.
So it's not just fast, it's deeply, intelligently efficient.
Precisely.
And the fact that complication rates are lower than some leading UK institutions just underscores that it isn't a trade-off between speed and safety. It's an integration of the two.
Right.
And I imagine freeing up the doctor's time must be a huge part of this, right? A surgeon's time is incredibly valuable.
Absolutely. Another stroke of genius here. Tests that can be done by paramedical staff. They are assigned only to them. This frees up the doctors to focus mainly on medical advising and the actual surgical procedures. They don't waste that precious surgeon time on tasks that highly trained support staff can handle, like initial assessments or prepping the OR. It's deliberate delegation.
Maximizing the most specialized resource. Makes sense.
And then you have the counselors. They play a really unique role, too, in this streamlined process.
Right, the counselors. What do they do?
They are critical. They're highly trained to explain all the options to patients, detail the procedures, discuss costs, go over post-operative care, all that stuff.
So the doctors don't have to spend time on those discussions.
Exactly. It means doctors don't spend their limited high-value time on these, administrative or explanatory discussions. It creates a smooth, clear patient flow. The patient gets comprehensive info and support while the doctor stays focused on diagnosis and surgery.
Which means the patient experience, despite the massive volume, 1,000 patients a day in the pain units alone, 6 days a week.
Yeah.
It somehow remains incredibly efficient.
Yeah, minimal crowding in waiting halls, clear directions, staff always guiding people. And to ensure consistent quality across the board, doctors are actually rotated between the free and paying hospitals.
Smart.
It truly is an assembly line, like you said, but one designed for human well-being and absolute precision.
An assembly line of sight. And that relentless pursuit of affordability and scale, maintaining their mission, it led them to another really groundbreaking innovation, didn't it? Vertical integration through OralLab.
Oh, yes. The OralLab story, it's a miracle in itself.
So before OralLab, they adopted intraocular lens, IOL, implant surgery as their standard. That was the cutting-edge tech for cataract removal.
Right, the standard of care.
And for listeners, an IOL is that tiny artificial lens implanted in the eye after the cataract is removed. It's crucial for restoring clear vision, basically replaces the clouded natural lens.
Essential piece.
But the problem was imported IOLs were just prohibitively expensive, like $80 to $100 each.
Yeah, a fortune for most people there.
Right. For the vast majority of people in India, that cost alone made the surgery totally unaffordable, even if the surgical fee itself was minimal or free. It was a huge bottleneck, wasn't it?
A massive barrier. It directly hindered their mission of eradicating needless blindness. They had the surgical skill, they had the patients lined up, but the core material itself was just out of reach.
So what did they do?
So in 1991, AECS took this truly bold, almost counterintuitive step for a hospital system. They set up OralLab, a separate nonprofit trust.
To manufacture lenses.
Exactly. Their mission was clear and simple: to achieve local production at an appropriate cost. It was a huge risk, venturing into manufacturing, but it was born purely out of necessity and that commitment to their patients.
And did they ever achieve it? By 2002, OralLab was selling rigid IOL lenses for less than $5.
Less than $5, down from $80, $100. It's staggering.
It completely changed the game. It drastically cut surgery costs, making it possible for countless patients to actually afford the lenses, or for the cost to be minimized or totally waived for those getting free care. This wasn't just like a cost saving, it was an accessibility revolution.
And what's fascinating is that OralLab didn't just solve Aravind's internal problem. It had a global impact.
How so?
It was actually responsible for driving down the prices of IOL all around the world. Think about that. This isn't some huge multinational corporation with decades of R&D and global networks.
Oh, it's a nonprofit offshoot of a hospital in India.
Born out of a mission-driven need that fundamentally disrupted a global market for a critical medical device. By 2002, OralLab was producing about 1/6 of the total number of low-end lenses produced in the world.
1/6 of the world's supply. That's incredible.
Yeah.
But were they, compromising on quality to get that price? Because often cheaper means lower quality.
Not at all. And that's the brilliance of it. They achieved top quality certifications. The CE mark, which is recognized across Europe, requires really rigorous standards, and ISO 9002 certification, a global standard for quality management.
So top quality, low price.
Unimpeachable quality even at that price point. In fact, they were so good they exported 33% of their lenses to about 120 countries, supplying large NGOs worldwide. Their commitment to quality was just as strong as their commitment to affordability.
And they didn't just stop at lenses, did they? They kept looking for ways to cut costs and improve access.
No, they saw other cost barriers across the whole patient journey. So in 1998, they diversified into manufacturing sutures, which were also expensive to import. OralLab sutures cost about 1/4 of the imported ones.
Another big saving.
Then they added a pharmaceutical division, producing affordable, essential eye drops and drugs, some of which they were the sole Indian manufacturer for. This ensured a steady, low-cost supply of post-op care essentials. And finally, a spectacle lens division was set up in 1999. This supported AECS's own in-house optical shops, making glasses readily available and affordable, especially crucial for the eye-camp patients.
It's like a complete ecosystem of affordability and accessibility, tackling every potential cost barrier from diagnosis right through to post-op care.
Vertical integration, yeah. It's a powerful lesson in controlling costs and ensuring supply when you have a massive mission. Truly strategic.
But okay, even with affordable lenses and super efficient surgeries, how do you reach the people who are stuck in remote villages? The ones who can't even get to a hospital? Because if they can't physically access your services, all that innovation doesn't help them.
That's precisely where their community outreach and iCamps come in. And this is really about bridging that gap. For so many rural, poor, geographical distance, lack of awareness, the cost of travel, it just meant the only way they could possibly get access to eye care was through these camps.
So Aravind decided to take the hospital to the people.
Exactly, instead of waiting for people to somehow find their way to them.
And they do this at an incredible scale, right? How many camps are we talking about?
Absolutely. AECS conducts about 1,500 eye camps every single year.
1,500 a year.
Yeah. And these aren't small, sort of haphazard events. They're meticulously organized. Aravind finds camp organizers, often local NGOs, Rotary clubs, maybe individual philanthropists. These sponsors cover the publicity.
Like posters and announcements?
Yeah, posters in villages, announcements from moving vehicles, that kind of thing. And they cover the basic camp organization costs, like setting up temporary spaces for examinations.
So the community helps get the word out and provides the space.
Yeah.
What's the actual experience like for a patient at one of these camps, someone living way out in a village?
It's designed to be as seamless and supportive as possible. Doctors and paramedical staff travel out to these remote villages, often camping overnight, really embedding themselves in the community for a day or two.
Wow, they camp out.
Yeah. When a camp is set up, patients get registered, preliminary tests are done by the highly trained paramedical staff, and then a senior doctor makes the final diagnosis. That initial screening is really efficient, designed to quickly identify those most in need.
And if they find someone who needs surgery, do they operate right there in the camp?
No, and that's another crucial distinction, actually a safety innovation. While some places might do basic surgeries in camps, which was common but often risky back then, Aravind generally doesn't perform complex surgeries at the camps.
Okay, so what happens then?
Instead, patients who need surgery are thoroughly counseled about the procedure, and then they're transported, completely free of charge, to the main hospital for the operation.
Transported for free.
And what's more, they often bring relatives with them, which forms this vital support group, reducing anxiety, making the whole journey easier for both the patient and their family.
That's thoughtful. So they get transported to the main hospital, have their surgery, and then what? Does Aravind just send them on their way afterwards?
Far from it. They actually stay for about 3 days post-surgery, food and accommodation, fully provided by ACS.
3 days, food and board included.
Yep. After they've recovered sufficiently, they're transported back to their villages. The hospital covers the cost of the surgery, including the IOLs, the sutures from OroLab, even post-operative medication for 40 days.
Wow.
It's a complete end-to-end service, removing every possible barrier, financial, logistical, even providing emotional support to make sure the patient gets and completes their critical eye care.
That's an incredible logistical operation and just a real testament to how patient-centric they are. And they even innovated with mobile optical shops at these camps.
Yeah.
That sounds so simple, but like a genuine game changer.
It really was an ingenious solution. They found this hidden problem, they did a study, and it revealed that the cost associated with actually getting a pair of glasses, a couple of visits to a shop, travel time, maybe a second doctor visit for a final check, that whole hassle often cost more than the glasses themselves.
So people just wouldn't bother getting them, even if they needed them.
Exactly. Many people, even after being checked and prescribed glasses, just never got them. The cycle of needless poor sight just continued. Not because the glasses were too expensive, but because accessing them was too expensive or too difficult.
So Aravind brought this solution right to their doorstep, eliminated all that friction.
Precisely. They started bringing mobile optical shops to the camps. They'd forecast the lens needs based on past data, bring a huge stock of various lenses, and fit spectacles right there on the spot.
And did it work?
The impact was profound. Suddenly, 75–90% of patients opted to purchase glasses right then and there. And over 85% got them immediately. It just eliminated all those barriers: time, travel, extra cost. It made the solution truly accessible and, crucially, adopted.
It's all about seeing the whole patient journey, isn't it? Removing those friction points. And their outreach, it goes beyond just these camps, right? Sounds more like a holistic community health thing.
Yeah, their community impact is really multifaceted. They run diabetic retinopathy projects, screening and awareness for a leading cause of blindness, especially important in India with its high diabetes rates.
Very important.
They have community-based rehabilitation for the incurably blind, helping them learn skills for daily living, maybe find work so they can live with dignity and independence.
That's vital too.
They also do eye screenings for school children, catching issues early to prevent blindness from a young age. And showing how they embrace technology, they even use IT kiosks for teleadvice. Patients in remote areas can email eye pictures and descriptions to doctors for guidance.
Using tech to bridge the distance.
Yeah, it's a truly comprehensive approach to community eye health. Prevention, cure, rehabilitation, the whole spectrum.
It's incredible. And none of this, the efficiency, the outreach, the massive scale, none of it would be possible without the right people. Specifically, their unique approach to staffing, particularly the paramedical staff. They really are the human engine of Aravind, aren't they?
Oh, absolutely. They are the backbone. Dr. V and others always stress that these ophthalmic assistants are at the core of AECS success. And what's really unique is their recruitment strategy for these roles, who they target.
Who is that?
They generally recruit girls from rural backgrounds, specifically in the 17 to 19 age range, very rarely older, and they actively state they do not prefer urban girls.
That's a very specific demographic choice. Why? What's the thinking there?
They look for girls with the right attitude from large families, preferably farmers' families. Knowledge and skills, important, yes, but they actually come second to attitude.
Attitude first.
The belief is that these young women from rural backgrounds often possess this inherent discipline, humility, a strong work ethic, and maybe a deeper sense of community and service that just aligns perfectly with Aravind's mission.
Okay, I see.
Plus, they're often seeking stable employment and a respected role, which Aravind definitely provides. For them, it's often more than just a job. It's a chance for a real career and significant social standing back home.
And they don't even advertise for these positions, just word of mouth. That seems kind of counterintuitive for finding talent.
That's right. Once a year, they just put up a notice in their hospitals. And the news travels like wildfire through the local communities, family networks. They get hundreds of applications, but only select a small percentage.
Very selective.
And they often involve the parents in the interview process, too. This selective, values-based recruitment helps ensure they get individuals who are deeply committed and whose families support their dedication to this demanding work. It builds loyalty and that shared purpose right from the start.
So once they're recruited, what's the training like? Is it just strictly medical skills or is it broader?
It's rigorous and remarkably holistic, a 2-year program. The training is so comprehensive, it's recognized internationally, even in the USA. Apparently, the Indian government has even considered adopting their syllabus for nurse training.
Wow. How is it structured?
It's phased. 4 months on basic sciences, 8 months doing specialized training in different departments, then 6 months of apprenticeship, working closely with experienced staff, and finally, 6 months working independently, but still with guidance.
And you said it was holistic. What does that involve beyond the medical side?
Well, beyond the medical skills, they're also taught practical life skills. Cooking, housekeeping, even tailoring.
Tailoring?
Yeah, the idea, stated quite traditionally, was to prepare them for becoming good housewives in the future. It's a cultural context thing, but seen as supportive, ensuring their well-being and stability beyond just their professional lives.
Okay.
They're also encouraged in yoga and devotional sessions, fostering a sense of peace and purpose. And fundamentally, they're taught to approach patients with gratitude for providing them an opportunity to serve.
Gratitude for the opportunity to serve.
Yeah.
That's a profound way to frame it.
Isn't it? It's this deep cultivation of a service mindset where helping others is seen as a privilege, not just a duty.
Does this unique approach actually lead to high retention? Because training staff for 2 years, that's a big investment. Losing them would be costly.
It leads to exceptionally high retention. Get this, 99% of the trainees stay on with us.
99%. That's practically unheard of anywhere, let alone in healthcare where turnover can be a huge issue.
Exactly. And the motivation isn't primarily about salary, although they are paid competitively. They find that more than salaries, it is the recognition that they get in society. They get a lot of respect.
Social respect as a key motivator.
Yeah, there are these anecdotes, of people recognizing them in public, like on a bus, and offering them a seat simply because they work at Aravind. That societal respect, that feeling of contributing to something truly meaningful, it's a powerful motivator that goes way beyond just money.
That really speaks volumes about the culture they've managed to build. A culture valuing service and mutual respect above everything. And that extends to the doctors too, right? This culture isn't just for the assistants.
Absolutely. The ethos is clear. No one shouts. If a doctor behaves badly, word goes around the hospital in no time and the doctor is in trouble. It's ingrained that mutual respect is our core value.
And they walk the talk.
Apparently so. Doctors have been seen picking up trash off the floor to set an example, demonstrating humility, shared responsibility for the environment, regardless of their position. It seems to create this flatter hierarchy where everyone feels they're contributing to the same mission.
It's a true embodiment of their values. And the doctors themselves, they also get incredible training there, don't they? It sounds like Aravind is a major training ground for eye specialists.
Yes, absolutely. AECS runs a rigorous residency program, plus fellowships for super specialization, and they provide just unparalleled surgical exposure.
Because of the volume.
Exactly. There was this story of a Harvard Medical School resident who trained at Aravind. They remarked they got more clinical experience here than any of my classmates at Harvard and saw rare diseases they'd only read about back home. The sheer volume and variety of cases are exceptional. It really makes it a premier training ground for ophthalmologists who want to master their craft and, importantly, contribute to a significant mission.
So they've built this extraordinary system, from a tiny 11-bed setup in a house to this global force in eye care. But how do they sustain it? What's the secret sauce for keeping this mission-driven machine running effectively over the long haul, especially as it keeps growing?
Well, the leadership at Aravind is very clear about this. They say, our strength is really not our technical skills or equipment. This can be easily replicated. Values are our unique strength. Values are the real reason for efficiency.
Values is the core strength.
They've consciously built this, well, deeply spiritual ethos into the organization. You see photographs of Sri Aurobindo and the mother throughout the hospitals. There's a meditation room Dr. V himself visited daily. This isn't just, window dressing. It fosters this atmosphere of service, integrity, a shared higher purpose among everyone. It makes it about more than just earning a paycheck. It's about contributing to something, well, almost sacred.
And that integrity, it isn't just internal, is it? It affects how they deal with the outside world, too. Sets them apart in the broader healthcare scene.
Absolutely. They refuse to compromise on ethical practices, even if it might mean short-term financial gains somewhere else. For instance, we never give commissions to other doctors, chemists, or other hospitals for special tests.
Which can be a common practice elsewhere, driving up costs.
Exactly. A stark contrast. In fact, they even go out and negotiate rates for their poor patients with external diagnostic facilities, making sure that the integrity of their mission extends beyond their own four walls. This commitment builds incredible trust with patients, strengthens their reputation, which in turn helps sustain their ability to serve without any moral compromise.
But even with such a strong foundation, such clear values, I imagine there are always challenges looking forward for an organization like this. What are they grappling with as they think about the future, as they continue to grow and evolve?
Well, sure. Scaling effectively is a big one, right? How do you maintain those core values, maybe decentralize decision-making as you keep growing geographically and functionally? It's that classic challenge for any fast-growing organization. How do you get bigger without losing your soul or getting bogged down in bureaucracy? Doctor retention is another ongoing challenge. Despite offering competitive salaries and a really great work environment, let's be honest, private practice elsewhere can often offer more money.
The financial pull.
Yeah. So Aravind relies heavily on offering a good work environment, a good name, and a status based on our high integrity, plus those unparalleled professional growth opportunities. But it's a constant effort to keep top talent committed to the mission versus chasing purely financial rewards.
And reaching even more people is still on their radar, even after all they've achieved. Which really speaks to Dr. V's original vision, doesn't it?
Yes, they still recognize the immense scale of the problem that remains. They know they need to increase turnout at the eye camps. Remember that 7% figure? That suggests there are still millions out there to reach.
Still so much work to do.
They also aim to improve post-operative care and counseling even further, ensuring better long-term patient success. And strategically, they're looking at developing dual specialties among doctors.
Dual specialties. What does that mean?
Giving them expertise in maybe a second area, perhaps more administrative or research-focused. The idea is to give more meaning to their work, engage them in leadership roles, ensure that their most valuable people remain challenged and fulfilled within the system. It's also about preparing the next generation of leaders for this monumental mission.
It's clear that Dr. V's vision, even when he was 85, remained this unfinished mission. He kept thinking about how to develop even more sustainable systems. He felt doctors in India were heavily underutilized, maybe doing things unrelated to their core skills. His ultimate goal never wavered. We have to eradicate all needless blindness.
And that drive, that relentless focus on the mission, combined with just ingenious management and this profound commitment to values, That's what allowed Aravind Eye Care System to become what it is. It's such a powerful testament to how an organization can deliver world-class care at a scale and affordability that most would think impossible.
It really is.
Yeah.
Aravind challenges so many of our basic assumptions about healthcare, doesn't it? It forces you to ask,
Yeah.
can financial self-sufficiency really truly align with the mission of universal free access?
And maybe, what could our own organizations achieve if we truly prioritize purpose like they do? If we empowered our people with that deep sense of service, instead of just viewing profit as the ultimate end goal?
It's a powerful question to leave our listeners with. The story of Aravind isn't just about eye care. It really is a blueprint for mission-driven excellence that could apply far beyond the medical field. It's just a testament to how audacious vision, paired with relentless innovation and a deep sense of shared purpose, can genuinely change the world. See you later. Bye-bye.